There's a group of warriors in the Old Testament that comes up a couple times. We only get a couple sentences on describing who they are and how they acted, but I think they're pretty awesome. They're called the Benjamites, and there's a point where we know they're really elite because, they beat up the Israelite army a ton when the Israelites are upset with some of the decisions they're making. But here's a couple verses on these Benjamites. And then I want to ask you some questions about how they could be this talented at something. So this is Judges 20, verse 16. Among Benjamin's elite troops, 700 were left-handed, and each of them could sling a rock and hit a target within a hair's breadth without missing. I love that. In First Chronicles 12, we hear about these guys. Again, they're going to be part of David's mighty men. And there's some fun stories to get into if you ever have a chance. But in First Chronicles 12, we see this. All of them were expert archers, and they could shoot arrows or sling stones with their left hand as well as their right. They could do some pretty incredible things. I mean, they could sling a rock and hit a target within a hair's breadth without missing. They could shoot bow and arrow and sling rocks with both hands. They were like ambidextrous. And I got to ask you this. What do you think the Benjamites were doing in their spare time and what they were doing all day long? I'm willing to bet they were slinging a lot of rocks and shooting a lot of bow and arrow. See, it's not just luck. It's not just good genetics, although they were related to Saul, so maybe they had some decent genetics to start with, but it was consistency over time. I don't think the first time they picked up a stone to sling or a bow to shoot with either hand was in the first battle they ever walked into. No, I think they were spending their time slinging rocks and working toward being those people, those precise warriors, so they could be that accurate with both hands. I mean, if you ever tried to do anything with your offhand, I'm right-handed, try to do something left-handed, it takes some effort, doesn't it? And it's funny how we can read those sentences and not think about the months and years of training, the time, the effort, the focus they had to have to be these great warriors, the fitness, the diet, the work. We just wish we could do it too. Consistency over time is the key to being good at anything in any area of your life.